How's everybody doing today? Yes, good. That was pretty decent. That was pretty decent for like 8:30 on a Saturday morning. So for those of you who I didn't get to meet before, my name is Dr. Greg Nayer. I'm our Vice President for Student Affairs and Strategic Initiatives at the institution. And I also have the privilege of working with our wonderful admissions staff and students on a regular basis. It really is an honor for me to be here today to welcome you all to Daemen, to our Scholars Day. I hope you're excited. We have a great day planned for you all. And we want to kick off our welcome in kind of a unique way. I want to have this kind of as an active conversation. So, and I have two of our fantastic scholars here. One of them who left us in 2010, not all in good way, graduated in 2010, and one of us who will be leaving us in May. So I'm going to have Chris and Gabby introduce themselves in just a minute. But before we do that, as I mentioned, I want this to be an active conversation. So in most places, they'll tell you to put your phone away. I want your phone out. And you can text, you can Instagram, you can tweet, you can Snapchat. I don't really care what you do as long as you're semi-paying attention. But we are going to do a Kahoot. For those of you who don't know Kahoot, it's a way for me to kind of get a gauge from you in the audience about how you're feeling about things and what's going on in your mind in a completely anonymous way. But I've limited the options. I don't want to know everything in your mind. That's going to be dangerous. So I'm going to pull this up real quick. And you'll see in a minute, you'll just go to kahoot.it, and you'll enter in a code. Again, this is for parents, too. A little jazzy music for you in the morning. There's a lot of people here. All right. While you all are entering in your names, I appreciate the emojis. I'm going to have our two wonderful trustee scholars introduce themselves real quick. And I think what I'll do is, Chris, I'll start with you. Can you introduce yourself? Can you tell us a little bit? About yourself, what you are, what you do now, any other sort of fun fact? Take it wherever you want.
Sure. So my name is Chris Johnson. I graduated in 2010 with a business degree, sports management focus. While I was here at Daemen, I played soccer. What else did I do here?
That's concerning.
Yeah, I basically just played soccer. That's all I did. No, after Daemen, I went on to law school at Indiana. Then I moved to New York City, and for the past 5 years, I have been working with Matthew Broderick and Sarah Jessica Parker, kind of as their right-hand man of sorts. A year and a half ago, I just launched my own production company, and we currently have 3 projects in development at major networks. So, yeah, exciting things are going on right now, and I'm very happy to be back here. So, thank you for inviting me back.
Thank you. We're honored to have you here. Gabby?
Hi, everyone. My name is Gabrielle Sinnott. I'm a current history and political science senior in the program. We met graduating in May, which is pretty cool. I have minors in medical humanities, philosophy, global studies, and public history. And I did not plan on any of that. It just kind of happened. Part of the honors program here in History and Government Club, and after I graduate, I'll be going to China for a month, Cambodia, Thailand, and Ireland, which is super exciting.
Fantastic. And you'll hear a little bit more about their story and their journey and about this experience in a little bit. But again, instead of us just talking at you, I wanted to make this an active presentation. So we've got a few questions we're going to put up, and you'll see in some places they're for students only, and other places they're for parents only. Please be honest. Again, they are completely anonymous. All right, here we go. Here's our first question, guys. Students only. I'm really blank about my interview today. Nervous, excited, kind of nauseous, too cool to be excited or nauseous. how do we do? All right, so many of you are both nervous and excited. A few of you are feeling sick. That's okay, we can clean that up. No worries from our end. I've dealt with a lot of things in my 20 years in college, not a problem at all. And I appreciate those of you who admit you're too indifferent to care. That's great. But I want to see what your parents think also. Parents, similar question. Parents only. I'm really blank about my son or daughter's interview today. Excited, nervous, also kind of nauseous, and just here for moral support. And I've seen some of you parents in the audience who are just here for moral support. You know it. I appreciate the people at the end who are really thinking about this. Interesting. So, I do this regularly. And it's really helpful. I want people to see that everybody in this audience is going through many of the same emotions that you are. Excited, nervous. You should be a little energized, should be a little thinking about what's going to happen out of this. But this is a great experience. This is a great experience, and you shouldn't be nervous. You should be excited. You should really make the most of it. This is a two-way street, this interview, and we want to make sure that you get the most of it and you really feel excited about it. And parents, it's the same way. You will not be sitting on the interview. I want to make that clear. Parents, you're not sitting in on the interview. We have some mechanisms to make sure that doesn't happen, but we want to make sure you understand that experience as well. And I was hoping my two experts can tell us a little bit about their interview day. So, Gabby, maybe you could start this first. Do you remember what your interview day was like, and can you tell us a little bit about that experience for them?
Yeah, so I remember it in kind of little tidbits. A few of the things that I remember is I woke up 20 minutes before my alarm went off and just kind of stared at the ceiling thinking about what I was going to say. When I finally got here, me and my mom, we sat in the back corner, and she goes to me, "Gabby, that can be you in 4 years." And I was like, probably not. And then soon after that, she noticed my nails weren't painted and they were really chipped, and she's like, "Are you serious? You're not going to go into that interview with nails like that? You can't let them see that." So that even made me more nervous than I already was, which did not help. So I'm sitting in the interview with clenched fists under the table, just in case the interviewers would see me. And I was really nervous before going into the interview, but as soon as I got into the interview room, it just kind of went away, and I calmed down, and I just talked a lot. I talked about museums and art history. Oh, and by the way, I wasn't always a history and political science major. I came in as a graphic design major. And so I really played to that. And then in my high school career, I also had a lot of background in political science and government, so I also talked about that. And I went over my time probably about 10 minutes because I was nervous and talking a lot. And I left the room, and my mom goes, "How'd it go?" And I'm like, "Mom, I couldn't stop talking." But it was a good day. After that happened, I was a lot more relaxed. Still didn't think I would have gotten a trustee scholarship, but it was a good day.
Excellent. Chris?
Well, I remember that my nail polish was also chipped the day that I came in. No, the last time I was here, it was when I was a senior, and I spoke at Scholars Day, and I remember I was probably just as nervous as everyone here was. My entire focus was just on not passing out while being in front of everybody. I felt very similar when I came for my interview. I had always been an extremely shy person, hated to talk about myself, hated to talk in general. And when I went in for my interview, I remember the first question they asked me was, "Okay, so you want to come in as a physical therapy student. Why?" And I gave kind of the cliche, "Because I play sports and because I really want to help people." And I said out loud after that, "My God, that was cliche," quoted a movie, and then went off on a tangent just talking about movies for the entirety of my interview. And it was, it was a good dialogue. I went back and forth with the people interviewing me, and yeah, all we did was talk about films and scenes from movies, and I was playing music, talking about how wonderfully this score went with this scene and all of this stuff, which was totally unrelated to anything I was trying to accomplish that day. Walked out of my interview, up to my mom and dad and said, guys, there's no chance. No chance. But I guess I tell that story, you know, because it's funny, first of all. But second of all, I think that what came across in my interview was that I was myself, and you got to see my actual personality, which I think is the biggest thing. Because everybody here, all of you are great students. All of you have high GPAs. All of you have done insane extracurricular activities. So what people are looking for is what makes you an individual, what makes you unique and sets you apart. And if you go into that with that mindset, I really don't think there's a reason to be nervous. All you have to do is just be yourself in there. And don't worry about impressing somebody. And once I let that go, I found a little bit of success, I guess.
Excellent. Excellent. And that is fantastic advice. I really want to stress that. I think they hit it right on the head. Be yourselves. Enjoy this experience. Enjoy getting that conversation. Get to know the faculty and staff here. One of the things we really want you to know, is that even though there's only a handful of these scholarships, we want you here at Daemen. We want you to be a member of Daemen 2023. You are the best and the brightest, and we want to make sure that we're able to work with you and make sure that you're here in the fall and being excited to be part of this class. So relax, enjoy the experience. Don't worry about your nail polish if it's chipped. Don't worry about going off on a tangent about movies. Just be yourself, talk about your experience and what you're trying to do, and I think you'll be just fine. All right, next couple of questions. Students only. I know exactly what I want to do when I'm a student here. Got it all planned out, no room for changes. Mostly planned out, some room for changes. I have major declared, so I'm all set, and I'm absolutely clueless. You got logged out, didn't you? It was kind of anticlimactic. See, this is what you do when you interview and you're not sure what to do. You just make up stuff. I've been doing that for 20 years. It's gotten me really far. Hey, I appreciate the people who squeaked it in towards the end there. All right, so let's try this for the parents. Parents, now you're going to have to carry the room here, okay? All right, parents only. I got my student's life all planned out here. Parents only. Absolutely. Kind of. Someone needs to do it. No, this is their experience. Totally spelled there wrong. Still just here for moral support. Nobody caught that yesterday. Kind of disappointed about that. Excellent. You can't see it because we're buffering. But, you know, it's okay not to have everything planned out. It's okay not to have planned out. I know a lot of people in this room think you've got to have everything mapped out exactly the way you need to, and that everything's going to work out perfectly fine. I've been doing this for nearly 2 decades, and I can tell you one thing I've learned unequivocally in higher education, and that is I am more concerned about the student who shows up on campus and has their entire life planned out than I am about the student who's trying to put it all together and is wondering how this experience is going to work for them. So I'm wondering if for our great panel members, if you can tell us a little bit about your journey in choosing a major. I think each of you changed your major, where you struggled, and how you overcame that. And before we do the next set of questions, I'll give you a heads up so you can log back in. Chris? You want to start?
Yeah. So I came in as a physical therapy major. I left with a degree in business. I changed my major in the second semester of my sophomore year. I knew that I wanted to change my major after the second week of classes, my freshman year. I just didn't do it because I thought, you know, physical therapy was a way more practical thing for me to do. And I think that's kind of what I most struggled with, this idea that I was supposed to be doing something, and if I changed my mind, that was somehow a failure, and I was afraid of failing. But I kind of realized that once I admitted to myself and said out loud and talked about what it was that I actually wanted to do, everything became kind of clear to me, and I was like, you know, I shouldn't be doing this. This isn't right for me. I should be going down this path. Now, I can kind of speak to both of these because I was a very confused student, but also my parents kind of hovered over my academic career and also my current career to an extent. You know, when I changed my major, they were hesitant about it, but they were like, as long as you do well in school, you'll get a job, that's fine. I then went to law school. I left law school, I practiced for a year and a half, and I called my parents and I said, hey guys, I took this other job. I'm not gonna be a lawyer anymore, which they did not understand. They were like, but you went to law school, you're supposed to be a lawyer now. They still don't completely understand what it is that I do. My mother to this day still asks me on the phone if I have found time to practice any law. So I guess in telling that story, parental support is wonderful. Make sure that your children are happy in what they're doing and you're supporting them in what they're doing. They'll be far more successful if they're enjoying it and they're interested in it than if they're not.
Excellent. Gabby, and while Gabby's speaking, feel free to log back into the Kahoot too. Gabby?
Yeah, so as I've said before, I entered my freshman year of college as a graphic design student, and I was dead set on getting that with minors in marketing and business because I wanted to be an art director for a marketing firm in Buffalo. But I knew I wanted to change after my second semester freshman year when I was in an anthropology course, and I just fell in love with the subject. And I knew then that I needed to switch my major, but I was very terrified of it, mostly because I'm a very type A planner person, and I didn't think that switching my major would kind of have me be as successful because I didn't start out as a history and political science student. But I officially switched in my second semester sophomore year, along with obtaining 4 minors, and trust me, I did not plan any of this out. It was mostly me going to my academic advisor, and she's like, oh, if you take one more class, you can get this minor. I'm like, okay, tack it on. So I ended up doing that. I think overall, my parents have been really awesome with me switching my major. I know my mom really helped out a lot, trying to get me into college and picking Daemen and then into the graphic design program. But once I was in college, she was very like laissez-faire, hands-off, you do what you gotta do. And there wasn't really much talk or arguing over major switching, which was really nice because I was super terrified of that. And so I think they've been really great role models and allowing me to kind of be my own person and kind of choose the path that I think is best for me, which is really awesome.
And I think the thing I really want to stress with this as you're going through this is it's okay that if you realize you came here for one thing and want to change to another major, that's fine. We have over 60 different majors, other opportunities to get involved and take other courses and do other programs. And just because you think, oh, I came here for this, I have to do this, but it's not working out, you don't have to leave here. We've got a lot of great resources and support to move you in another direction and help you find your path. And so the last kind of piece to this is what about that value added, that outside the classroom experience? All right, let's see if this works this time. Students only. I know how to maximize my college experience. Definitely, I'm really type A, like Gabby. I'm just focused on today. I have some ideas, but we'll need some guidance, or not really. Excellent. I think, some people really are. Some people just focus on today. But there's a lot of people who have some ideas and need guidance, and we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk a little bit about how we can help you with that and how they've maximized their time. All right, parents. Parents only. I feel really good about the advice I'm giving my student about the college experience. Absolutely, it's spot on, mostly, but I notice things I do not know. I'm struggling, and not at all I'm making it up. It's what I do with my kids. It's worked great. All right. All right, I think that's fantastic. But know in here that you're not alone in this. Some of us think we have it all figured out. Many of us think we got most of it, but there's things we don't know, and some of us are completely clueless. That's why we're here. That's why we're here to help guide that conversation and help you in making that experience the most it possibly can be. Gabby and Chris, I know we're running a little short on time, so maybe if you could take a minute each and tell us how you have used some things outside the classroom to really enhance your academic experience. And Chris, as an incredibly successful alum, how some of those experiences like internships or other things really influence what you do. Gabby, we'll start with you this time.
All right, this is going to be really hard because I've done a lot in the past 4 years, but I guess the two biggest things for me were joining the honors program and having the opportunity to study abroad. So I joined the honors program my freshman year. My freshman year, I was a student representative, worked my way up to vice president, president, and now I'm past president, along with being the marketing director. And the honors program is super cool because it really caters to each individual person and what you're interested in. And I think because of the honors program, I really believe that's why I'm sitting here today. Also because I'm a trustee scholar, I guess. But I've been able to travel to conferences, present at conferences, win scholarships because of the honors program, go out and help the community. Just so many benefits from them, and they've really helped me with what I wanted to do. And then moving on to study abroad, I knew my freshman year I wanted to study abroad, so I went into their office and I said, hey, I'm going to go study abroad in a semester in Scotland. And that did not work out, so I tried 2 other times, and eventually I ended up winning the Benjamin Gilman International Scholarship. I remember opening the email, I thought it was spam, and so I tried contacting other people, asking if this was true. Then I called my mom, called Anne, emailed a bunch of people saying that I got the scholarship. And then over the summer I was able to intern in Thailand, which was incredible. I was there for 9 weeks, and it's very cliche saying it was life-changing, but it was absolutely life-changing. And they've done a lot to help me kind of foster my academic growth and kind of scoping out what I would want to do with my future, which was really awesome. So.
Excellent. Chris, and then get that Kahoot ready. We've got one more question.
Yeah, so I never studied abroad, which is the one thing that I regret not doing while I was here. But the biggest thing for me here was the chance to intern kind of all over. And there were all of these set internships and partnerships that the school and the business program had kind of all over the business community in Buffalo, and outside of Buffalo, in New York, and kind of all over the place. But I looked at this list and I was like, you know what, none of these are jumping out at me. I really think I'd like to do this. And I went to my advisor and told her, this is what I want to do. Is there a way that we can make this happen? And everyone at the school really worked with me to kind of curate this experience for me that was exactly what I thought I wanted to do professionally. And you know, it kind of allowed me this experience to, first off, realize that's not what I wanted to do professionally. But all along the way, they kind of tailored the internship experience to the things that I was interested in. As soon as I realized I think I want to go to law school, they were able to get me a clerkship at one of the big law firms here, which is usually something that's reserved for first-year or second-year law students. I was able to get one of those while still an undergrad. So I think Daemen does a great job of leveraging their relationships in the community, and really working with students to tailor your opportunities and the things that they can provide to what you're interested in.
Excellent. And we'll get to our last question and tie this all together and then get you started on a day. But our hope and our goal with doing this is that you can see from 2 of our fantastic students, one of them who's an alum, that this experience is yours. One of the great things about Daemen is that you can make it whatever you want, and we have the people here who can help you do that. That's not the same at other institutions. You can get lost in a crowd. You can't get lost in a crowd here at Daemen, and we really pride ourselves on that and helping you figuring out where you want to go in your journey so that you are successful upon graduation. That is our #1 goal. So with that, here's our last question. It's an important one. Students only. I will be attending blank in the fall. You got a few choices. Daemen College, or some other subpar institution. Go ahead. It's anonymous. Don't worry, we won't hold you to it. Excellent. A lot of Daemen blue. I appreciate the color alliteration going for that. The 21 in green will stay after we will talk. Listen, guys, we do this because we have a little bit of fun here, and we believe in this. I want you guys to relax. I know when I walked in here and we're talking to people, and I see a lot of people nervous and worried. We don't want you to be nervous. We don't want you to be worried. We want you to enjoy this experience. We want you to feel home at Daemen. We really want you to make sure you get the most out of this. Our president, Dr. Gary Olson, with whom you'll have the pleasure of meeting later, the parents specifically will have the pleasure of meeting later in our Parents' Lounge, often talks about the Daemen family. It's a message that he gives regularly, and if you've been at other open houses, you've heard that quite a bit. And it really is true. I've been at lots of institutions. I've worked at 4 different small private institutions. I've taught at many large public institutions, and nowhere that I've been has had the community feel that Daemen College has. And I think it's something that's really important for you as you're making that decision. Remember, this interview today is really a two-way street. Those additional funds that you might receive are a big bonus, but our goal is to make sure that you're here regardless of that. We want to make sure that you're here, that we want to make sure that you see yourself as a Daemen Wildcat, and we want to make sure that you feel successful when you leave here in 4, 5, or 6 years. And one thing to note is if you decide to be part of the class of 2023 today, or you just have questions, we have 2 info centers and deposit booths, one in the RIC lobby where you checked in, and then one in the WIC Student Center. And then all people who actually deposit today get a proud Daemen family yard sign that will look great in your yard whenever you find grass again, hopefully sometime in the next 20 to 30 days. I really have high hopes for our groundhog today. So here's our plan for today moving forward. And I ran a little short on time, so I apologize. We're going to have to skip our last piece, which was a little advice from our wonderful panel members. But can we give a round of applause to our fantastic trustee scholars? So we also have some other trustee scholars with us today. You'll see in the back we've got these wonderful students in blue and white rugby shirts. Can you stop? They know where you are. You don't have to wave. You can, though. And then we also have some wonderful alums who are trustee scholars. Can you guys stand or wave or whatever you're comfortable doing? Yes. I think that speaks a great deal about Daemen, that they came back for this event to help guide you and have some conversations, and they'll be part of today. So here's our plan as we move forward. Interviews start at 9:15, and they continue throughout the day. On your agenda, you have a label with your name and interview time, an interviewer, and other important information. 30 minutes before your interview time, with the exception of 9:15, we've got a plan for you. We want you to go to RIC 101. This is for students only. Parents, during the time that they're interviewing, we have a special parents' lounge set up for you over in our Visual and Performing Arts Center, our VPAC. It's connected to DS. We will have people directing you as we go. We've got some of our wonderful faculty and staff. Our Vice President of Academic Affairs is here with us today as also Dr. Michael Brogan. He'll be there as well. Dr. Brogan, would you mind waving? Dr. Brogan's here. Dr. Brogan will be in that lounge as well as our president, Dr. Olson, and some of our wonderful trustee scholars, alums, and we're excited to see you here. So that's for parents. As soon as we're done here, I'll dismiss first our 9:15 interviewers and their families, and we have some students. We have Scott and Jessica. Can you guys wave? They will be taking you, and then Danielle will be taking the parents, so you'll just follow them out in just a minute. Don't leave just yet. But the lounge should be great. And if during the time that you're not in the lounge or you're not interviewing, we have a series of presentations that you can go to. They're focused in on the academic experience and how you can enhance it, the co-curricular experience, honors program, PA, PT, a few other really important sessions that you'll see in your agenda. If you find 2 of them that you want to go to, we are repeating the sessions twice, so you have lots of options, and we encourage you to go to them. Talk to our faculty and staff about their experience. And finally, the final thing I really want to make sure that you understand is that we want you to enjoy the day. We want you to ask questions. Our wonderful admissions staff is around. You'll see them. They've got their name tags on. They'll be in the RIC lobby. Ask any questions. We are here to help you with anything that you might need. We'll end the day with a luncheon at 12:30 to 1:30. And also, if you have not gone on a tour, we are offering tours throughout the day as well. I really hope you have a great day. I really hope you get as much out of this as you can. I hope to see you here in the fall. Hope that you really enjoy this entire experience. And go Wildcats. Anyone with a, thank you. I appreciate the pattern applause. I'm okay though. Thank you. Anyone with a, thank you. Anyone with a 9:15 interview, I think most of you in the back, if you would mind, before everybody else departs, if you would mind rising and following Scott and Jessica and Danielle out, they'll direct you where you go.